Hey everybody, welcome back to the kitchen for another episode of Get Your Grub On. Today is the first day of fall, so you know what that means. Everything pumpkin. Now, today, we're going to be doing a white chocolate and pumpkin cheesecake. With that being said, we do have a few ingredients in front of us. For example, for our crust, we got a package of cookies, quarter cup of sugar, a couple pinches of salt, and a stick of butter. For our filling, we got 4 blocks of cream cheese, about a cup of sugar, about a tablespoon of honey because I like that extra sweetness, a third cup of cream, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 3 eggs, quarter cup of brown sugar, and of course some white chocolate. But what would a pumpkin cheesecake be without, of course, your pumpkin? Now, normally I do all that from scratch, but we're going to save a little time and get a can of pumpkin. Anyways, the first thing we have to do is make our crust. You ready? Let's get this going. For this, all you're going to want to do, melt your butter, get all your cookies in a bag, and crush them up. This is all crushed up. We're going to get a stick of melted butter, our sugar, and mix this all up. I mix this all up until it is perfectly wet. You might have a few big pieces of cookie, and in which case that's totally fine. Then you're just going to put that in a springform pan with a little bit of some parchment paper lined in there. And spread this around. Now that that's done, we're going to bake it at 350 for about 5 to 7 minutes. Next, everything is going right in here. We're going to mix it all up until it's smooth. Next, we're just going to pour our filling into our springform pan. Then we're going to bake this off for about an hour at 350 degrees. We're going to put water in here so that way it has a water bath so it'll rise even better. And we're going to cover this up with some more parchment paper so that way the top stays nice and bright colored versus getting too brown. Alright, so at this point, it's a little jiggly. We've let it rest in the oven for about an hour. We're going to throw this in our refrigerator and let that cool down 4 to 6 hours. You can let it go overnight, depending on how much time you got. We've let this go overnight to cool off. Now, here comes the fun part where we get to open this up and make sure we still have a cheesecake. Magic. Now stick around because I got one more surprise for you, and I think you can see what it is. Next, we're going to do a white chocolate and Oktoberfest sauce to go on top of this. Now I know what you're thinking, a beer and white chocolate sauce? Yes, you got to go with more of a lighter Oktoberfest. This Polliner is amazing by itself, and I went ahead and tasted it with some white chocolate. It came out good, so we're going to experiment and come up with the sauce. All you need is about a half cup of cream, 8 ounces of white chocolate, a tablespoon of butter, and we're going to cook down this beer just a bit so that way it's not overpowering. You ready? Let's continue and get our cheesecake done. First thing you want to do, cook off a little bit of this beer. We're going to let this boil down until it's almost evaporated. If you notice, our beer is pretty much all cooked off. We have it on lower heat. We're going to add our cream to it, bring that to a boil, and then add everything else so it can be nice and saucy. All we're doing is turning off the heat and throwing our white chocolate in there along with the butter. And we're going to stir that until it's all melted and smooth. And all we're going to do is pour this sauce right over the top. We're going to throw this back in the fridge for a little bit longer so that way it can firm up. All right, it's time to finally cut into this bad boy and see what we got. Little tip, always get some hot water so that way you don't have that coming up. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for to finally try it. Here we go. That's light. It's moussey. It's not as thick as like most cheesecakes, but you know what? It's fantastic. Along with that good Oktoberfest, this is a really awesome dessert. So I highly recommend trying this and tell me what you think. Regardless, I hope you all learned something today. Make sure that you follow me on social media. Chef Steven Gonzalez on Facebook, Chef Stegon's on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Also go to chefstevengonzalez.com. Get a copy of my cookbook, get your grub on, and yeah, I gotta get back to this.